Have you ever wondered what's really going on inside the head of a great product manager? It's this amazing mix of art and science. Well, today, we're going to crack it open and see what makes a digital PM tick.
Yeah, it's so much more than just a job title, right? It's like a whole different way of thinking. A specific mental operating system, if you will, that's purpose-built to navigate the absolute chaos of building incredible products.
So you ready? Let's take a tour and explore the 6 core functions, the distinct processing centers that really define a top-tier product leader.
All right, first stop on our tour, the strategic lobe. You can think of this as the brain's built-in GPS. It's all about setting the destination and plotting the best route before anyone writes a single line of code.
And this is where that big picture vision lives. We're talking about the brain's North Star. And listen, this isn't some vague, fuzzy goal. It's a crystal clear answer to the most important question of all. Why are we building this? That clarity is the magic sauce that keeps the whole team from getting lost in the weeds and makes sure everyone, from engineering to marketing, is rowing in the exact same direction.
But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just about the why. It's about connecting that why to the how. Think of it like a game of chess. A great PM isn't just looking at the board right now. They're always thinking 3 or 4 moves ahead. They're anticipating what competitors will do, how the market might shift, and what new tech on the horizon could just flip the whole table.
Okay, let's move on to the next center, the user-obsessed core. And let's be clear, this isn't about empathy as some fluffy, soft skill. Nope. Here, empathy is a hardcore, data-driven algorithm for figuring out what users truly need.
I mean, this part of the brain is completely consumed by the user's experience. It's digging deep with interviews, crunching data, mapping out their entire journey, all to find those real, deep-seated pain points. And why go to all that trouble? Because you simply can't build an incredible solution until you're absolutely in love with the problem.
And it all works in this constant, iterative feedback loop. First, you gather insights. Then you translate those into actual requirements. Then you test and refine with real users. And that whole process, well, that's how you build trust. I mean, think about something like Spotify's Discover Weekly. That didn't just appear out of nowhere, right? It was born from this exact cycle. Understanding listening habits, building something, getting feedback, and refining it over and over again. It's a living, breathing thing.
All right, let's fire up the logic circuits and talk about the data-driven processor. We live in a world that is just drowning in data, right? Well, this is the part of the PM brain that acts like a master detective, finding the real story that's hiding in all those numbers.
A top-tier PM understands that more data isn't always the answer. This processor is all about surgical precision. It's about zeroing in on just a handful of key metrics that truly tell you if you're delivering value to your customers and hitting your business goals. It's the ultimate filter for separating the signal from all the noise out there.
And the keyword here is focus. The brain locks onto a single North Star metric. That's the one number that, above all others, captures the core value you provide. For Airbnb, it's nights booked. For Facebook, it's daily active users. When you have that one key metric, plus maybe a couple of supporting ones, every decision gets so much simpler. The whole team knows exactly what winning looks like.
This whole data-first mindset fuels a non-stop experimentation engine. Every new feature idea isn't just a whim, it becomes a hypothesis that has to be tested. And since it's all done methodically with super clear success criteria, even the experiments that fail are actually huge wins. Why? Because they give you cold, hard data and teach you something valuable for the next round.
Okay, let's move to the communication hub of the whole operation, the cross-functional connector. If all the other parts we've talked about are specialized lobes, this is like the brain's central nervous system. It's what makes sure everyone is connected, speaking the same language, and working together like a well-oiled machine.
Really, at its heart, this is all about being a universal translator. A PM's job is to take a big business objective and translate it into specs an engineer can actually build. They've got to explain a tricky design constraint to the marketing folks. They have to turn a dense legal requirement into a user-friendly feature. It is a constant, never-ending act of translation. And it's such a delicate balancing act, isn't it? You have to respect what every single team brings to the table, their unique perspective, their expertise, while making sure everybody is still aimed at that one North Star. When a PM nails this, it's magical. You stop being just a group of individuals and become a real team, something way more powerful.
But this communication hub, this is also where the really tough calls are made. Let's be real, you never have enough time or resources. So what do you build next? This is where ruthless prioritization comes in. By using a smart, data-driven system, like weighing user impact against the effort required, the PM keeps the team laser-focused on only the work that's going to make the biggest difference.
Okay, now for a really important one, the resilient risk taker. Look, building something new is inherently messy and uncertain. This part of the brain is the survival center, the part that knows how to navigate those stormy seas.
And just to be clear, this is not about being reckless or just gambling. It's about making smart, calculated bets. A great PM will use tools like feature flags or gradual rollouts to test the bold, innovative idea on just a small group of users first. That way, you can take a big swing without betting the farm.
And a huge piece of this resilience is being ready for when things inevitably go sideways. It means you've got a playbook before the crisis hits, it means you communicate transparently when it happens, and most importantly, it means you run a blameless postmortem afterward. The goal is never to find someone to blame. The goal is to figure out what in the process broke so the entire team can learn and make sure it never happens again.
All right, we've arrived at our final stop, the future-proofing architect. This is the visionary part of the brain, the part that's constantly scanning the horizon. It's not just thinking about the next 2-week sprint, it's thinking about next year and the year after that.
So what does that look like? Well, it means keeping a super sharp eye on emerging technologies to find that next big opportunity. But, and this is just as crucial, it's about managing the long-term health of the product. It's about proactively paying down technical debt, all that clunky old code that builds up and slows everything down. This keeps the product nimble and ready for the future. It's all about playing the long game.
So as we wrap up our little tour inside the PM brain, it's pretty clear, right? A great product manager isn't just one thing. It's this incredible synthesis of all these functions: the strategist, the user champion, the data guru, the translator, the risk taker, and the futurist, all firing together in perfect sync. And that brings us to a final thought for you. As you think about your own work, about your next big project, which one of these 6 parts of the PM brain needs the biggest workout? Which mental muscle do you need to flex the most? It's a great question to ask yourself.